In the face of the kinds of market, economic, and political uncertainties the world is currently presenting, the key to protecting yourself, your family, and your assets is diversification, and the only way to truly diversify yourself is through planting flags. There are 5 basic things we recommend you consider accomplishing to safeguard yourself and your assets against inevitable complications. These are traditionally referred to as the flag theory, or the 5 flags approach. Perhaps, the most important thing to understand about this offshore world, for anyone looking to move themselves or their assets offshore, is that it's forever changing. The key to surviving and prospering in the current global climate is to internationalize your life, using the 5 flags strategy to diversify globally. So, what are the 5 flags? The 5 flags are to do with residency, citizenship, banking, assets, and business. Some have recently added a 6th flag, the cyberspace, but we leave this off our own list. Not everyone needs all 5 flags planted, but the goal should be to plant whichever ones you do need, in different jurisdictions. Moving to another country, and taking all your cash, investments, and business activities with you to that new country, doesn't achieve the real goal of going offshore. The flag theory, and taking this 5 flags approach, allows you to create an outline you can use to simplify the very big picture concept of internationalizing your life. The process of planting your flags is the process of choosing which country, or countries, works best for you, flag by flag. Now that you know what the 5 flags are, let's take a look at each flag. Flag number 1. Banking. Offshore banks are available in dozens of jurisdictions. Most people take the approach of trying to choose the best offshore banking jurisdiction, but the reality is that the best depends on the person and the goals. More important, you shouldn't just find one bank in one jurisdiction and call it a day. The real problem in the current climate is that banks, and even whole jurisdictions worldwide, are closing accounts owned by Americans. One thing to take away from this is that you need to open a bank account when you can. Don't hesitate, or put it off. The window for opening an account at certain banks can close, sometimes overnight. Another thing you must consider is that you need at least 2 bank accounts offshore, in case one bank decides it doesn't like the color of your passport anymore. Places to consider opening a bank account right now depend on your intended use of the account. But, generally, Belize, Andorra, Uruguay, Panama, Singapore, and Hong Kong are the top banking havens in our post-FATCA world. Flag number 2. A backup residency. Residency rules can and do change as quickly and as often as banking rules, so, as with banking, our strong recommendation is that you take steps toward establishing a backup residency in another country, as soon as you are able to. Don't wait until you think you need it. It's not that residency, or citizenship rules, change often in any single country. However, when they do change, they change quickly, typically within a few months. That leaves you with little time to take action, to get in under existing rules, as you may have been intending. Top residency options right now include Panama, Colombia, Latvia, Uruguay, Ecuador, Malaysia, and the Dominican Republic. Finally, one important thing to consider before establishing residency in another country is the tax consequences. Flag number 3. Seek second citizenship. An offshore plan could include plans for a second passport. At the most practical level, a second citizenship is useful for travel. The EU isn't the only economic community in the world. You also have Mercosur in South America, CARICOM in the Caribbean, and ASEAN in Asia. Holding a passport in one member of these groups means much easier travel among the others. A second passport can also mean residency and work options. This is the case and the serious benefit of holding an EU passport. Another benefit of holding a second passport is visa-free travel. This is becoming an increasingly big deal for Americans. As the United States continues to make it more difficult for citizens of many other nations to visit that country, those other nations are reciprocating. The final reason to get a second passport is if you want to give up your current citizenship. You can't be stateless. If you're considering formal expatriation, the first step is to acquire a second passport. Flag number 4. Protect your assets. Asset protection means protecting what is yours. Asset protection is different for everybody. Asset protection could be a partnership, it could be an international trust. You could get a second citizenship, foreign residency, or generational insurance products. Asset protection is not a scheme to evade taxes. Many people think that when you are in the international or offshore arena, you can take liberties with the reporting of income and the taxes that you pay, but this is not what it is about. But if you can legally defer and minimize your taxes, then certainly, why would you not do that? An offshore asset protection trust is considered by many experts to be the strongest asset protection vehicle available, when done right. When done wrong, that is, for purposes of evading taxes, it's fraught with risk. Flag number 5. Overseas business incorporation. The key to maximizing the tax benefits of incorporating offshore is to retain profits over and above the foreign earned income exclusion in your offshore corporation. This allows you to accumulate unlimited amounts of tax-deferred dollars in your company. Operating a small business through an offshore corporation allows you to draw a salary of up to the FI amount. The offshore corporation also eliminates payroll or self-employment taxes, saving about 15% in most cases. If you are an American who might generate significant profits in your international business, you should begin with a proper structure, and that structure should be created by a tax advisor with experience both in the United States and overseas. The basics are these. You must use a corporation that is incorporated in a country that will not tax your profits. Good options for incorporating your business include Panama, Singapore, and Nevis. So, where is the right place to plant your flags? No one place will get a perfect score on all counts. And even if it did, moving yourself and all your assets to a singular overseas jurisdiction does not diversify yourself any more than keeping everything in the United States would. The good news is that going offshore is also more easily managed right now than ever. The 5 flag strategy is not literal. You may not need or want 5 flags. Maybe you need only 2 or 3, or perhaps your circumstances require 6 or 7. Your plan will evolve as you learn more, and as your needs evolve. The process of internationalizing your life is an ongoing effort. So, which flag will you plant first? Let us know in the comments.